What's up, guys? So, this is part 2, or 3 if you want to be specific, I guess, of my E3 predictions. If you haven't seen my other video yet, it covers the last bit of my Nintendo Direct predictions, as well as what I am hoping to see from Capcom and Square Enix. And as you probably know from the title of the video, assuming you read it, in this video I am going to be covering everything that I am hoping to see from Ubisoft forward, as well as Xbox and Bethesda's presentations. And if you want to see what I have to say in my other videos, make sure you check them out after you finish this one. But for now, let's talk about Ubisoft forward. And I'm going to be covering it first since it is the presentation that I have the least to say about, if I'm being honest. So first off, we most likely will be getting more details and a closer look at Far Cry 6. Though we already did get a preview event about a week ago, and I'm sure many people like myself are looking forward to seeing more of it, especially if they didn't check out that preview event. Next on the list is Rainbow Six Quarantine, or Extraction since I think they renamed it recently, a very long-awaited spin-off game that I'm sure plenty of Rainbow Six Siege fans are hoping to see something from, especially since it has been 2 years since they first announced it, and it has also been delayed a handful of times. And though I don't make content for Siege anymore, I am definitely looking forward to seeing what Quarantine has to offer. And my second to last prediction for Ubisoft is going to be a teaser for the new Assassin's Creed. Given that we've gotten an Assassin's Creed game every single year for the longest time, I think it's safe to say that we will definitely be seeing the reveal for a new one as well this year. And now finally, the reveal for the supposedly open world Star Wars game. Now, after hearing about Star Wars changing hands from EA to Ubisoft, I was very interested and eager to find out exactly how it will play out, especially considering that Ubisoft has a handful of very well-known and well-received open-world games, ranging from Far Cry and Watch Dogs to Assassin's Creed to the Ghost Recon franchise. So I'm 100% sure that Ubisoft is capable of knocking it out of the park. I am just extremely interested to see how the game adds to the extensive lore of Star Wars. And I would love to see a continuation of Cal Kestis' story, though I'm not entirely sure how possible that is because of legal reasons. But now that I actually think about it, they may be holding on to it for next year's Star Wars Day. So since I don't want the Ubisoft section of this video to end on a bad note, some bonus predictions. My first bonus prediction for Ubisoft is going to be another South Park game, since Stick of Truth and Fractured But Whole were pretty fun in my opinion, and I would love to see whatever the hell they decide to do for a third one. And finally, arguably the most out there prediction on this whole list, it is Uno 2. Now, I know that these aren't all of the games that Ubisoft makes, nor is it all what might show up for Ubisoft, but I'm not a huge fan of some of the other games that will probably end up being a part of their panel. I'm looking at you, Division. So, hopefully I can make it up with this next part, because now we finally get to Xbox and Bethesda. So first up, I really want to know what the hell is going on with the Xbox Game Pass and the Nintendo Switch. With Nintendo and Microsoft both having neither confirmed nor denied it up until now, I'm thinking at E3 we will finally find out just what exactly is going on with these two companies behind the scenes. But that isn't exactly what you clicked on this video for, so let's get to that. Obviously, we have the heavy hitters, which are Starfield and Halo Infinite. Now, with Starfield, I have absolutely zero expectations, and I don't mean it as a bad thing, but since Fallout 76 was a complete shit show, and Fallout 4 wasn't exactly the best game in the franchise either, though I did love it, I'm glad that they are giving Fallout a rest for a few years and trying something new with Starfield, if that even is what they're planning. Because don't get me wrong, I would love another Fallout game, but I think that they should give it a rest for 2 or 3 more years, and with having no expectations for Starfield, I am simply trying to avoid disappointment. Because to be completely honest, Fallout 76 has me very worried, but given how somehow they managed to bounce back just a little bit, and given that Starfield is a game that is set in space, which I'm always a sucker for, and on top of that, it's a fresh premise for Bethesda, so I'm still going to be looking forward to it nevertheless. And I know I will will most likely end up in love with it regardless. And while we're on the topic of space-based games that I'm an absolute sucker for, with the gameplay reveal that we originally got for Halo Infinite being a little bit on the rougher side of things, I think it's a safe bet to say that we will be getting an update on the graphics for E3. And in addition to that, possibly a deeper look into the story, as well as the multiplayer, and finally a release date. Halo Infinite is definitely one of the games I am looking forward to the most this year out of everything, since I have been a huge fan of the franchise since I first played Halo 2 as a kid. And with it supposedly being the last game in the franchise, whether you believe that or not, I'm really hoping 343 ends up knocking it out of the park. And speaking of knocking it out of the park, Obsidian's Outer Worlds 2 is supposedly rumored to be announced. I'm really hoping that Obsidian does something for E3, because I'm literally on the edge of my seat waiting to see whatever they do next. Though I haven't gotten a chance to finish the first Outer Worlds yet, I had so much fun playing it that I haven't exactly had with these kind of games since New Vegas. Go figure, am I right? But anyways, I can't wait to see how they expand on the universe that they have created for Outer Worlds, as well as if the sequel will be separate from the first game in the grand scheme of things, similar to how the Fallout franchise is, or if they will be tied together in some way or another. But whether it's a sequel for Outer Worlds or a deeper look into Avowed, which we have had absolutely no news on since it was revealed last year in July, and I don't know about you, but I've been dying for a new game that is reminiscent of Skyrim since about the 9th time that Skyrim was re-released. And I will definitely lose my mind over what Obsidian decided to give us regardless, because just based off of Avowed's teaser and my experience with Outer Worlds and New Vegas, the money will just fly out of my wallet regardless of what Obsidian decide to do. And now for my final few predictions. For Xbox's presentation, I want to see more on Fable 4. Though I've never played any of the Fable games, the trailer that we ended up getting definitely has me interested in it, especially considering that it is being made by the team behind Forza Horizon. And though I'm not a Forza fan by any means, those games are absolutely gorgeous. So the new Fable game already has that going for it. Next up, I think another Wolfenstein game would be great, especially since Youngbloods was a little underwhelming in my opinion. I loved the concept, but the execution of Youngbloods was far from perfect, and I think revealing a new game is just what the fans need to get the bad taste out of their mouths. And finally, we have the long-awaited DLC for Cuphead. It's been 2 years since we originally were supposed to get it, and E3 is definitely the best time to finally give us a release date for it. Plus, it will finally give me reason to play the game. Now, with all of that being said, let me know what games you are most excited to see at E3, as well as which panel you are most hyped for. And if you have any additional predictions that I forgot to mention, don't be afraid to leave those in the comments as well. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one.